Namaste everyone.
सबको नमस्ते।
Today is Monday, March 11, 2024, and we are now going to begin our session on Sandhya Upasana and Mantra Swadhyaya. तो इस संध्या उपासना और मंत्र स्वाध्याय में आप सभी का स्वागत है. So first of all, I will request Dr. Om Gandhi ji to please start the Sandhya. Dr. Om Gandhi ji, please start the Sandhya.
Please sit up straight up. Keep your back straight, your neck straight, and hands on your knees in Yoga Mudra. Close your eyes and recite Om 3 times first. Om Bhurabhuvah Swaha Tatsaviturvarenyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Dhiyo Yo Nah Prachodayat. Om Shanno Devir Abhishtaye Apo Bhavantu Pitaye Shanyor Abhis Sarvantu Nah. Om Vak Vak, Om Prana Prana, Om Chakshu Chakshu, Om Shrotram Shrotram, Om Nabhi, Om Hirdayam, Om Kantha, Om Shera, Om Bhaubhyam Yashobalam, Om Karatal Karaprishthe, Om Bhu Punatu Shirishi, Om Bhuvah Punatu Netrayo, Om Swaha Punatu Kanthe, Om Maha Punatu Hirdaye, Om Janaha Punatu Nabhyam, Om Tapaha Punatu Padayo, Om Satyam Punatu Punashirashi, Om Kham Brahma Punatu Sarvatra, Om Bhu, Om Vaha, Om Swaha, Om Maha, Om Janaha, Om Tapaha, Om Satyam, Om Ritancha Satancha Bida Tapaso Adhyajayata Tato Ratra Jayata Tata Samudro Arneva Om Samudra Darneva Dadi Samatsaro Ajayata Aho Ratrani Vidadat Vishwasya Mishato Vashi. Om Surya Chandramaso Dhatayatha Purvamakalpayat Divancha Prithvim Chantariksha Matho Swaha. Om Shanno Devir Abhishtaye Apo भवन्तु पीतये शन्योरभिस्सर्वन्तु नाम ओम प्राची दिग् अग्निरधिपतिः रसितो रक्षिता आदित्या ईशवः तेभ्यो नमो अधिपतिभ्यो नमो नक्षत्रेभ्यो नमः ईशुभ्यो नमः एभ्यो अस्तु योऽस्मान् द्वेष्टियं वयं द्विस्मस्तं भोजं भेदद्मः ओम दक्षिणा दिगिंद्रो दीपति त्रिशिराजि रक्षिता पीतरा ईशवः तेभ्यो नमो दीपतिभ्यो नमो नक्षत्रेभ्यो नमः ईशुभ्यो नमः एभ्यो अस्तु योऽस्मान् द्वेष्टियं वयं द्विस्मस्तं भोजं भेदद्मः ओम प्रतीचि दिग्वरुणो दीपतिः प्रदाकु रक्षिता आनम ईशवः तेभ्यो नमो दीपतिभ्यो नमो नक्षत्रेभ्यो नमः ईशुभ्यो नमः एभ्यो अस्तु योऽस्मान् द्वेष्टियं वयं द्विस्मस्तं भोजं भेदद्मः ओम उदीचि दिक्सोमो दीपतिः सब्जो रक्षिता शानिर्ईशवः तेभ्यो नमो दीपतिभ्यो नमो नक्षत्रेभ्यो नमः ईशुभ्यो नमः एभ्यो अस्तु योऽस्मान् द्वेष्टियं वयं द्विस्मस्तं भोजं भेदद्मः ओम ध्रुवादिग्विष्णुरधिपतिः कल्माशग्रीवो रक्षिता विरुद्ध ईशवः तेभ्यो नमो दीपतिभ्यो नमो नक्षत्रेभ्यो नमः ईशुभ्यो नमः एभ्यो अस्तु योऽस्मान् द्वेष्टियं वयं द्विस्मस्तं भोजं भेदद्मः ओम ऊर्ध्वा दिग्बृहस्पतिरधिपतिः शिवत्रो रक्षिता वर्षम ईशवः तेभ्यो नमो दीपतिभ्यो नमो नक्षत्रेभ्यो नमः ईशुभ्यो नमः एभ्यो अस्तु योऽस्मान् द्वेष्टियं वयं द्विस्मस्तं भोजं भेदद्मः ओम उद्वयं तामसस्परि स्वाहा पश्यन्त उत्तरं देवं देवत्रा सूर्यमगनं ज्योतिरुत्तमम् ओम उदतं जातवेदसं देवं वहन्ति केतवः दृशे विश्वाय सूर्यम् ओम चित्रं देवा नामुद्गादनीकं चक्षुर्मित्रस्य वरुणस्याग्नेः आप्राद्यावा पृथ्वीम् अन्तरिक्षं सूर्याय आत्मा जगतस्य स्वाहा ओम तच्चक्षुर्देवहितं पुरस्ताच्चक्रमुचरत् पश्येम शरदाशतं जीवेम शरदाशतं शृणुयाम शरदाशतं प्रब्रवाम शरदा शतम अदीनः श्याम शरदा शतम भूयश्च शरदा शतात् ओम भूर्भुवः स्वः तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो नः प्रचोदयात्। हे ईश्वर दयानिधे भवत्कृपयानेन जपोपासना आदि कर्मणा धर्मार्थ काम मोक्षाणां सद्या सिद्धिर्भवे नः। ओम नमः शंभवाय च मयो भवाय च नमः शंकराय च मयस्कराय च नमः शिवाय च शिवतराय च। ओम शांति शांति शांति। ओम त्र्यंबकं यजामहे सुगंधिं पुष्टिवर्धनम् उर्वारुकमिव बन्धनान् मृत्योर्मुक्षयमामृतात्। ओम त्र्यंबकं यजामहे सुगंधिं पुष्टिवर्धनम् उर्वारुकमिव बन्धनान् मृत्योर्मुक्षयमामृतात्। ओम त्र्यंबकं यजामहे सुगंधिं पुष्टिवर्धनम् उर्वारुकमिव बन्धनान् मृत्योर्मुक्षयमामृतात्। ओम द्यौ शान्तिरन्तरिक्षं शान्तिः पृथ्वी शान्तिरापः शान्तिरोषधयः शान्तिः वनस्पतयः शान्तिर्विश्वे देवा शान्तिर्ब्रह्म शान्ति सर्वं शान्ति शान्तिरेव शान्ति सामा शान्तिरेधि। ओम शान्तिः शान्तिः शान्तिः। Rub your hands and generate energy. Cup your face, transfer the energy to the 5 sense organs. ईश्वर का धन्यवाद करते हुए ऐसा से अपनी आंखों को खोलिए। नमस्ते सबको।
Thank you, Dr. Gandhi. I'm going to share my screen. I hope everybody can see my screen. Yeah.
Yes, we can see it.
Yeah. So this is the last of the series on Punar-Janma that I started in the last 2-3 weeks. And in this one, I am going to present mantra taken from Nirukt, or the vachans taken from Nirukt. Nirukt is considered to be one of the 6 upangs of Ved. And what it contains, first of all, it has a part called Nighantu, which contains synonyms. Each word has several synonyms. So those synonyms are given so that we can understand the Vedic mantras. For example, start with Go. Go has, I don't remember, but it has 19 different synonyms. Go का मतलब गाय भी होता है, go का मतलब भूमि भी होता है. So that helps us in understanding the Ved mantras. plus it has taken some Ved mantras also and given us explained the meaning of those Ved mantras and how those words are derived. And we'll see one of the words today, how that was derived. And so having said all that, it has also given some, and it's written by Maharishi Yas. So it has some statements also, like this one. Perhaps it does not exist in the Vedas, but it exists in this Niruk. And it's from Adhyaya 14th and Kanda 6. And it says, MRITASHCHAAHAM PUNARJAATO JAATASHCHAAHAM PUNARMRITUH NAANAAVIDHAAH SAYOSHITAANI YAANI वही. तो अगेन वही पद पाठ करेंगे, मिता च अहम पुनः जाता जाता च अहम पुनः मृता नाना योनि सहस्त्राणि मया उषितानि यानि वही. This is the first statement. You will find that these are very simple statements and does not need very complicated knowledge of the Sanskrit. So it says, Mrit aham cha punah jata, jata aham cha punah mrita. So इसका अगर let me give you some background here. The background is that these statements are being made by a जीवात्मा which is जो कि माता के गर्भ में है, वो स्टेटमेंट बना रही है कि वो, and this is the plight of a soul in the womb of a mother. He says he dies and takes birth again, and he takes birth and dies again. But actually the soul never dies. Just want to make one thing clear. The soul acquires a body and then at a predetermined time leaves it. So the association of the soul with the body is called janam. And when the soul departs, that is called mrityu. That's, I want to make that clear because soul never dies, soul never takes birth. So this is the plight of the soul that is telling us, Nana yoni sahasrani yani maya vai ushitani. So इसमें word है ushitani. Ushitani is derived from dhatu vas. It can also be derived from dhatu ush, but it's derived from dhatu vas. And जो संस्कृत जानते हैं, they know the letter va. There's a sutra for some prasaran, va changes to u, and similarly sa will change to sha. And this pratyay kata is kata. Kata means it's specify the past, in the past, कि वसा हुआ, निवास किया हुआ, ऐसा मतलब इसका आएगा. So let's see now what it means. If you know Hindi, and you will understand this one. नाना योनि सहस्त्राणि, नाना प्रकार की सहस्त्रों, यानी जिन योनियों को मया मीन्स मेरे द्वारा, वही मीन्स निश्चित रूप से, विद सर्टेनिटी, इंडीड, उषितानी मीन्स निवास को किया गया है. दैट आई हैव लिव्ड in many yonis, many species in this world. Sastra means 1,000, Sastra means many. So this is the second statement that I have taken from there, and it's called AAHAARAA VIVIDHAA PEETAA NAANAAVIDHAAH STANAAH MAATARO VIVIDHAA DRISHTAAH BHUKTAAH PITARAH SUHRIDASTATHAA. So पद पाठ करेंगे, आहारा विविधा भुक्ता पीता नानाविधा स्तना मातरः विविधा दृष्टा पितरः सुहृदा तथा. इसमें भुक्ता, ये मैं भूल गया हूँ यहाँ, to add this one. So मैंने विविधा, विविधा मीन्स विविध प्रकार के, अनेक प्रकार के। आहारा, आहार, आहार मीन्स भोजन। भुक्ता, भुक्ता खाए हैं। ये जरा प्लूरल में आ रहा है, आहारा, भुक्ता। भुक्ता डिराइव्ड फ्रॉम धातु भुज। एंड कत, कता प्रत्यय अगेन गिव्स अस द पास्ट टेंस। मैंने प्रीवियसली खाए हैं। भुज मैंने खाना, भक्षण करना। और फिर और क्या बोलते हैं, नाना विधा, अनेक माताओं के स्तना पीता, स्तनों का दूध पिया है। And the next line here is the last line, this one here. So I have rearranged the words a little bit. Vividha, vividha means अनेक, मात, अनेक प्रकार की। मातारः, मातारः माताएं। दृष्टा मैंने देखी हैं। अनेक पितरः, पिता देखे हैं। तथा सुहृदः, अनेक मित्र देखे हैं in my past lives. So this is the third vachan from the Nirukt, and it says AVAANMUKHAH PEEDAYAMAANO JANTUSCHAIVA SAMANVITAH SHAANKYAM YOGAM SAMYASYA PURUSHAM VA PANCHVIंशकम्. Then we break it down. AVAANMUKHAH PEEDAYAMANः, PEEDAYAMANः, जंतु यहाँ से जंतु, च एव समन्वितः, सांख्यम योगम समभ्यस्य, समभ्यस्य, it breaks down into some abhyasya purusham va pancha vinshakam. So this is the first line, which I have arranged it, the words have been arranged. अवांग मुखा, अवांग, अवांग बोलते हैं नीचे की ओर। तो कहते हैं मैंने अवांग मुखा, गर्भ में नीचे मुख, अर्थात पग, मर्जे पांव थे ऊपर, थे ऊपर पग करके। फिर बोलते पीड्यमान, पीड्यमान में मैंने पीड़ाओं से। सम अन्विता, अन्वित मैंने होता जुड़ना, और सम मैंने अच्छी प्रकार से। सो पीड़ाओं से अच्छी प्रकार से युक्त होकर। जंतु मैंने अनेक जन्म धारण किए हैं, अनेक प्रकार का प्राणी बनकर आया हूं मैं संसार में। कहते, और कहते कि मैं जब गर्भ में था तो मेरा मुख नीचे चला गया था और पग ऊपर चले गए थे, और मैं वहां पीड़ाओं से युक्त था, और पीड़ाओं से युक्त होकर मैंने कई जन्मों को धारण किया। These are simple. If you know a little bit Sanskrit, you will know it. Yeah, this is what it makes. And so the second line is Sankyam Yogam Samabhyasya Purusham Va Panchavinshakam. मैं सांख्यम, सांख्यम मीन्स ज्ञान। जैसे गीता में आता है ना, गीता का जो चैप्टर 2 है उसको भी ज्ञान योग बोला गया, उसमें भी वर्ड सांख्य आया था। तो आचार्य जी बता रहे थे कि सांख्य मीन्स ज्ञान यहाँ पर। तो सांख्य मीन्स ज्ञान, और योगम, योग का। सम अभियस्य, अभ्यस्य मीन्स अभ्यास करूं। मैं सांख्य या कि ज्ञान और योग का अच्छी प्रकार से अभ्यास करूं। एंड दिस स्टेटमेंट्स आर ट्रू फॉर ऑल फ्यूचर टेंस आल्सो। मैं अभ्यास करूंगा, वैसे कि एक तरह की प्रतिज्ञा कर रहा है। वह अथवा पंचविष्कम, पंचविष्कम 25वें तत्व, 25वें तत्व पुरुषम, पुरुष का मैं ध्यान करूं या करूंगा। तो वो एक तरह की प्रतिज्ञा ले रहा है। देखो ये ऋषि भी है, हम श्रोता हैं, उनसे जो बोल रहे हैं उनसे, या जो सुन रहे हैं उनसे एक तरह की प्रतिज्ञा करवा रहा है। ऋषि ने ये नहीं बोला कि तुम अच्छी प्रकार से योग अभ्यास करो या ज्ञान को पाओ या 25वें तत्व पुरुष का ध्यान करो। मतलब मैं करूंगा, मैं सांख्य, मैं ज्ञान और योग का अच्छी प्रकार से अभ्यास करूं। सो आपको एक तरह की शिक्षा दी जा रही है कि दिस इज व्हाट यू नीड टू बी डूइंग इन दिस लाइफ। if you want to avoid all this nonsense that is going on. The soul is saying that this time I will worship by a repetition of ज्ञान और योग. बार बार मैं ज्ञान अभ्यास करूंगा, बार बार मैं रिपीट करूंगा ज्ञान और योग को. This time I will worship by a repetition of ज्ञान और योग. To whom I am going to worship, it says the 25th element, also known as Purusha. So we'll find out what this 25th element is. So I've written out some in English. Rishi has used in such a way that as if he wanted the reader or the Shrota to be saying this from his or her own mouth. This is a pratijya that the reader is making, that this time I'm going to worship him by Sankhya, means by acquiring knowledge from the Vedas and the related scriptures that are in conformity with the Vedas. There are so many scriptures out there which are not in conformity with the Vedas. So going to acquire knowledge from the Vedas and also from other scriptures that are in conformity with the Vedas. And by doing yoga abhyas, Patanjali yoga, Ashtanga yoga. So this time, as if the soul is saying that, oh Almighty God, I'm not going to forget about you this time. That this time I will definitely do it. So I have written a little bit of summary over here that I have come to this mortal world many times. And this time I'm going to put a stop to this nonsense, or I like to put a stop. It doesn't make much sense why I did not do something about it in my previous births. But when a person takes birth and grows up in this glittering world, he is attracted by the beautiful objects created by the Prakriti. Whether these be beautiful humans or the so-called great wonders of the world. And he gets absorbed in the pleasures of the senses and forgets his or real purpose of life. Some will say they have no time to worship. Some don't even feel the necessity of worship. They say, I am living, they say, forget about the heavens, that I have all the pleasures of this world in this particular life. I'm living in a beautiful mansion, I have a beautiful family, and have expensive cars. So why should I be praying for anything else? And so what happens? So this cycle of endless birth and death continues forever. This is what they forget. And there are other religions that have originated from the India, and they don't even believe in the Vedas. And there are other religions that are in the West, found in the West. This is only one life to live. So eat, drink, and be merry. And so this endless cycle continues forever. Now let us come back to the 25. What is the 25th element? So this is the creation, and we have discussed this in the class, in our previous sessions. God takes Prakriti, this is the Mool Prakriti. And after that, the element next that is produced from this Mool Prakriti is Mahatattva, जिसको बुद्धि तत्व भी बोलते हैं. From there originates the Ahankar. Ahankar, as you know, as Acharya ji has told us, and also Dr. Sridhar ji has mentioned it in the previous lectures, Ahankar does not represent ego here. It is जो हमें अपने जब ये सोल से अटैच होता है, it gives a feeling, it gives हमारे अपने अस्तित्व का ज्ञान होता है, बोध देता है कि मैं हूँ, अहम, I exist. उसके बाद क्या होता है? 5 तन मात्राएं उत्पन्न होती हैं. 5 तन मात्राओं से फिर 5 महाभूत बनते हैं, पृथ्वी, जल, वायु, अग्नि, आकाश. इन्हीं 5 तन मात्राओं से 5 ज्ञान इंद्रियां बनती हैं, और इन्हीं 5 तन मात्राओं से 5 कर्म इंद्रियां बनती हैं, और ये एक मन बनता है. इनसे मन कंटेन्स बुद्धि एंड चित्त आल्सो. as Yoga Darshan has combined all of them together. So this one, if you combine 1, 2, 3, and then there are 5, 23 and 24. These are 24 elements. The 25th element, who is separate from this, separate from the Prakriti. These are all made from Prakriti. The 25th element that is separate is Brahm, who designed all this mortal world. And he is also known as the Purusha. And the word Purusha is also repeated in the Vedas few times. And who is Purusha? Nirukta says, Adhyaya 2, Khand 3, Purusha. Purusha means Puri Siddhati iti Purusha. जो पुर में या नगर में रहता है उसका नाम पुरुष है. So there are two things that live in a city. एक तो आत्मा रहती है जो शरीर रूपी नगर में रहता है, और दूसरा है परमात्मा. तो परमात्मा भी ब्रह्मांड रूपी नगर में रहता है. तो दिस पुरुषा means both soul and also Paramatma. Both the soul and the God reside in a city. So, but you have to, which one to take then, depending on the context. The soul will like to do sadhana, sandhya, acquire knowledge, and also do ashtanga yoga. So it's going, किसका ध्यान करेंगे? परमात्मा का ध्यान करेंगे. So that's why this word that I have used before says that this time I'm going to worship. मैं ज्ञान और अष्टांग योग का अच्छी प्रकार अभ्यास करके 25वें तत्व पुरुष का मैं ध्यान करूंगा. This is the statement that is made by Rishi Yask, and he's telling us what needs to be done. So this is the last one from there. And I don't know whether Maharishi Yask wrote it or maybe he quoted it from someplace. And so it's like it concludes it now. It says, Tatascha dasme mase prajayate, jatascha vayuna sprishta tatna samriti janam marnam, antecha shubha shubham karma, etat sharirasya pramanyam. So this is again a simple thing. If you know a little bit of Sanskrit, तो ये बनेगा ततः च दसवें मासे प्रजायते. तत् मीन पश्चात, 10वें मास के पश्चात पैदा होता है ये. जाता च वायुना स्पृष्टा तत्ना स्मृति जन्म मरणम, और उत्पन्न होकर वायु से स्पर्श करता है. वायु से स्पर्श करता है. तत् ना स्मृति जन्म मरणम, कहता उसके बाद क्या होता है? वह जन्म मरण को स्मरण नहीं करता है. Forgets about it. और फिर क्या होता है उसके बाद? कहता अंते चा शुभा अशुभम कर्मा, शुभ अशुभ, शुभा शुभम के अंत में शुभ और अशुभ कर्म से युक्त हो जाता है, अर्थात ये उसके साथ रहते हैं. और एतत् concludes here, एतत् शरीर से प्रमाण्यम. तो इसका प्रमाण क्या है? कहता है दिस बॉडी दैट यू हैव, ये इसी का प्रमाण है. इसी को देखिए कैसे आई है. This body we have seen is a self-proof of all this activity that has been described. So the Rishi has given a message to us by this speech. This human life is very precious. So make the best use of it. We have a higher purpose in life that distinguishes us from the rest of the other living beings. बाकी प्राणियों से हम different हैं क्योंकि परमात्मा ने हमें intellect दिया. That purpose, higher purpose, is to achieve salvation, or at least to make an honest attempt by following the path the rishis have suggested, not the path suggested by the Babas and all these pandits of other temples. What the rest of population in India has done is ignore these suggestions, but rather follow the path suggested to them by the countless Babas and the other so-called pandits. So you have the freedom to choose, my friends, which path you want to follow, whether you want to follow the path of the rishis or whether you want to follow the path of these other people. I hope you will follow the Vedic path. So I'm going to stop the screen now. And so we have talked about this before many times also. It is all these various religions that have originated from India. कितने मत हैं? हर एक स्टेट में कितने मत होंगे? They all have one thing in common. Everybody. They all believe in reincarnation. Ask them. They will say yes. हमारा पीछे भी जन्म हुआ था, अब भी है और आगे भी होगा. They all believe in that one. It's only the religions that are Abrahamic religions. They don't believe in that. They will say only one life to live. So enjoy it, eat, drink, and be merry. That is their philosophy. So again, Dr. Sridhanji had mentioned earlier also, I want to quote that again, if you ask them about this, tell about reincarnation, they will say, we don't believe in that reincarnation because it's not mentioned in the scriptures. And so they say there's only one life, that you just have make the best use of this one. And if you ask them, they'll say, why somebody is born in a very poor family and has to beg for food all his life, and the other one is born in a princely home? They are born with a silver spoon in the mouth. How is this possible then? And their answer will be, that is the will of God. And I'm going to repeat the statement that Dr. Sridhanji has made in his presentation, that if this is so, फिर परमात्मा पक्षपाती बन जाएगा. एक सोल को तो भेज दिया किसी गरीब के घर और दूसरी को भेज दिया किसी बहुत अमीर के घर, and that is not the characteristic of परमात्मा. परमात्मा की से पक्षपात नहीं करता है. So they really don't have an explanation for this. And I asked them to, and they also believe that all these dead bodies that are there, they will rise on the day of judgment. That day of judgment has not come so far, And I asked this lady who was my colleague. He said, then what is happening to these souls? So she's a very devout person in her religion. And she said, she went to ask the priest, and the priest said, they are in a repository right now. And when the day of judgment comes, they will come out. Okay. So then I said, why? Why they are in a repository? I said, justice delayed is justice denied. I wrote out there. Do you know that? Why somebody has to wait billion years or 2 billion years? Uska faisla hoga ja. So really, they don't have an explanation for this. And that's why, I love this Vedas, I love this path, because at least it gives an explanation for all these phenomena. Having stated all that, I conclude my talk over here on Punar-Janma. If you have any questions, I'll be glad to answer with my capacity. If not, I will ask somebody to present it next time. And thank you very much for listening to me.
Bhalla ji, it has been seen many times if there's a case of sudden death, like for example an accident, the guy up to age of 3 or 4 or 5, they remembers their past life.
Yeah, I have heard stories also like that one. I have heard stories, but I don't know how documented these are. I heard the story that there was a boy, and his father was taking him to some place, and the boy said, stop the car right here. And he stopped the car, and he realized, he said he used to work in this shop. He was the owner of the shop, and he was murdered by this guy who is sitting right now. So the cops came, they captured him, and he acknowledged, they say he acknowledged it, that yes, they were both partners, and he had murdered him. So, but whether they are documented, how they are documented, I have absolutely no knowledge. This is what you read either on WhatsApp or on some Hindi newspapers and all that stuff.
No,
I have seen with my own eyes I tell this story. It is in 1946. A young girl, about 5 years old, comes to our town where I was living at that time with her father. And when she reached there, she is pulling her father toward a school. And when she goes there, and she sits in the class, and she says, "This is my teacher." And then she pulls her father to take her to her previous home, where she had a fever and she died, and she has come back again.
So she was only 6 years old, you said?
Yeah, at that time she was 6 years. When she died, she was about 12 years old. That's what.
Actually, there is a movie also by Nicole about this reincarnation. Her husband dies in an accident, and one of the boy who was the son of the building manager, and when he grows up to 5-6 years old, and she said that you are my wife, and she has a boyfriend, and he starts arguing. It's a movie. Actually, you can find out about reincarnation. Yeah.
Even there was a story about one of the prince that was born. I don't know, in the Himalayas somewhere. I don't know, Bhutan or somewhere. One of those countries or somewhere. And they said they brought him to the village. He told them to go to that village. He was living there. So they brought him there, and he told them that he was a teacher here before he died. So, but anyway, let's just leave it right there. They are there, but again, people will want proof, and that documented proof. So these are stories appearing on WhatsApp, other places, and sometimes they could be totally false. I don't want to take claims for this. Anyway, if there are no further questions, I will do Sandhya, then we can wrap it up today.
आपका बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद, Bhallaji, for doing this series. I think I added some too, but this has been very nice for understanding Punar-Janma. I think it's gotten a lot of detail, especially what you have done with all the 3 lectures, that I think it's been wonderful, at least what our understanding in Vedic Dharma is. One other person I could mention, actually, and you can go on the website still, is Brahmachari Krishna Dutt, whose lectures I heard at least 20-30 times. And he would lie down, and within about 10 minutes he'll go into yoga, like sadhana, and then he'll start shaking his head, not shaking, really go very rhythmically, left and right, and he'll give a lecture for half an hour, 45 minutes, and he will talk about the past, which and he was an unpad vyakti. That part, I think I saw him many times. It's not that. He was from Varnava village, in Meerut, near Meerut. That's where, Pandavas were in the Lakshagraha place. That's where he was born. And he had predicted sort of that he'll die when he's about 50, and that's when he died, actually. Even his lectures before, he had said that I'll only live. And he gives the reason why. The reason he gave was that in his previous life, he had insulted his guru, and he had kicked his guru. For whatever reason, he had become so ghamandi. And then he got, that you will be suffering when you come in next life. And I think that's about all he said, why I am in the state I am in. But his lectures are the kind of Ved part he's done, I've heard from nobody in my life. I mean, he will do Ved part of the kind which was unique. And these are shakhas which are gone. Basically, that's where these parts were coming from. That's what people are saying. But it was very, melodious, proper enunciation. He would use the word yag for yajna, for example, always. He never used the word yajna. He'll say yag. But that was what they were called in that era, I think, basically. His lectures are still available if you want to ever listen. I think that was one person, actually, who made me first time start feeling like there's a proof there which I am seeing. Otherwise, I had heard stories just like you, Bhallaji, had heard from, a 5-year-old girl from our neighborhood. who said my, old name and everything, how I died in a railway accident, that I was crossing railway path and died. But, those stories where the parents create for some attention of what you always were wondering, but Brahmachari Krishna, that you didn't need proof, you saw him yourself, he was giving lecture. And at least I must have 20, 30, and the kind of things he talked about, after doing a Ved part, which he would do, Ved Shaka part, it was sort of very unique lectures, and I think they were all compatible with Vedic Dharma, basically.
Those lecture I have, some of them are, there's a website called VedicScriptures.in. उस पर जाओ तो उसमें चारों वेदों के मंत्र का दिया हुआ है, ऋग्वेद, यजुर्वेद, सामवेद. You click on whichever Ved you want, then you enter the mantra number and it will show up. And when I was reading through those, I found some of the mantras had his explanation by him also. He will have the explanation of the current authors that we have, whether it's Maharshi Dayanand or other authors that we have, Harisharanji and all that. Plus, there will be also be his interpretation will also be there.
So he called himself Shringi Rishi from the past. आपने वेबसाइट का नाम क्या दिया जी?
Vedic Scriptures. Let me see. एक मिनट मैं पक्का कर लूँ जरा.
ठीक है, अच्छा आप बेशक ईमेल या वेबसाइट में डाल देना, जिस तरह we'll look into it.
ये मैं डाल दी यहाँ पर चैट में, VedicScriptures.in. इसको कॉपी कर लो, क्योंकि जब ये लेक्चर खत्म हो गया तो ये डिसअपीयर हो जाएगी. It's a very good website and developed with very lot of hard work, and it gives you the explanation of the Ved mantras from one or two or three, sometimes three different authors, the same mantras. And so get a handle on that one. And there are slow, sometimes it doesn't come, it's taking too long and you can get cut off. But if you have patience, wait for 30 seconds or so, it will come up. And then you can browse through it. But very nice, very nicely done.
No, that's great to know, जी.
चलिए तो फिर शांति पाठ करते हैं. Then we'll close this session. Om Dev Shantirantariksam Shantihi Prithvi Shantirapah Shantiroshadhaya Shantihi Vanaspatayah Shantir Vishve Deva Shantir Brahma Shantihi Sarvam Shantihi Shantireva Shantihi Sama Shantiredhi. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. सबका बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद जुड़ने का. Tomorrow we will have the Sandhya Upaasanaa and it will be led by Dr. Anand Sharma ji. And with today 8 o'clock Eastern time, we will start the Ramayana part. Those who wants to join it, is coming from a Vedic temple at Atlanta by Acharya Amol ji. So, and those who have time, those who have interest in it, please join. With the having stated all this, सबका बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद जुड़ने के लिए. And I'm going to close the session now.
Namaste.
Namaste.